What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you've been keeping up with the Energon universe from Skybound and Image Comics, you know they've been crushing it with their modern take on G.I. Joe. It's action-packed, and honestly, it's the refresh the franchise needed. I've been looking for a way to bring the series to the channel, and I think there's no better place than jump in with Silent Missions Baroness Issue 1. But before we start, just a heads up, these Silent Mission comics are wordless. It's all about the art and storytelling. And let me say, the artwork by Joelle Jones is incredible. Take a look at these pages when you see them. I'll be doing my best to describe the pages and what's happening throughout the comics. And if you'd like me to do more G.I. Joe comics, please drop me a comment. With that, let's get into it. We're at Cobra headquarters, perched on a high, rocky cliff. We see Darth Vader, just kidding, but it does look like Darth Vader from behind. But we see Cobra Commander walking to a bunch of surveillance screens as he turns them on, and we see him clasping his hands, monitoring them, and a screen appears with the word "assign." We see now a limo pulling up to a high society European-style opera house. We see a banner with a masquerade mask hanging the facade. We cut back to Cobra Commander as he's reviewing the profile of the Baroness, wearing her iconic black tactile suit with her signature glasses. Next to her on the screen is a blue envelope with a star on it. Below that, we see the target profile, a gray-haired old man in a formal black suit, appearing to be a political figure or corporate target. We can assume this man is Baroness's target, as we see Cobra Commander lean in, studying or focusing on the Baroness. We're back at the Opera House, or the High Society masquerade event. A stunning, glamorous Baroness steps out of the limousine holding a violin case. Baroness slowly walking up the staircase, does a slight turn and looks over her shoulder, slowly pulling down the mask as we see her wearing her signature glasses. The Baroness is now walking through the crowded gala. At one point, she stops to look at the crowd. We can assume that she's looking for her target. We now cut to a hallway where we see two guards at the end. She drops her mask to the floor and starts to take off her heels, moving closer to the guards. All of a sudden, it's a full sprint. She runs to the first guard, delivers a powerful strike to the throat, knocking him backwards. She is then grabbed by the second guard from behind. She grabs his hand, pulls it, and delivers a palm strike right under his head. The last image we see is Baroness standing in the entrance of the doorway, fixing her dress, holding the violin case, as we see the two guards on the floor in front of her. Now we cut to Destro, dressed in a tuxedo, sitting in the same opera house, intensely watching the performance. We again cut back to Cobra Commander with a profile of Destro next to him. The same screen depicting the blue envelope with a star on it. Again, the same target profile, a gray-haired old man. We can guess the Cobra Commander has also set Destro to go after the same target. We are now in the catwalk area of the opera house. We see the violin case on the floor. In the background, we see Baroness pulling out an outfit. And then we cut to silhouettes of her slowly changing into a new outfit as the final shot reveals her traditional iconic black tactile suit she always wears. Now we see a close-up of the open violin case, revealing it was a custom weapons cache containing a disassembled high-tech rifle and ammunition. Baroness's hands expertly snapping the components of the rifle together. She is perched in the catwalk, looking through the scope of the rifle, overlooking the crowded theater below as she finds her target next to a woman in a purple dress. But all of a sudden, she moves the rifle scope over and is surprised to see Destro there also, looking at the same target. We see a close-up of the Baroness with a furrowed brow, realizing that Destro is here for the exact same target. We now cut to Destro, as the stage lights reflect off his silver metallic mask, giving him a cold, statue-like appearance, as he looks up at the target, who is seen leaning forward with binoculars to watch the performance. Destro turns and looks at the same performance when something catches his eye, a shadow on the catwalk. The Baroness is seen standing there with a sniper rifle leveled, perfectly positioned for a clean shot, as we see a close-up of her blowing a kiss to what we think is the target, but in reality, she took a shot at Destro. We see his head snap back by the force of the bullet's impact. He appears dazed but alive. His steel mask successfully deflected the lethal shot. But the gunshot was heard throughout the opera house as we see the people around Destro go into the panic and start stampeding out of the building, as Destro calmly looks up into the catwalk looking for his assailant. We now see two security guards drawing their weapons as the Baroness at the far end of the hallway is in a firing stance and shoots the guards. As another guard appears in a doorway aiming a handgun, the Baroness takes the sniper rifle, knocks the gun out of his hand, and shoots him point blank. She enters the private theater box with a rifle at ready, looking for her target. But the Baroness only finds the target's female companion, who is left behind, cringing in terror. The Baroness looks down into the theater, seeing the target running toward an exit. But all of a sudden, the target's flight is cut short, as we see a gloved hand level a handgun directly at his forehead. We now see it's Destro who intercepted the target. Baroness in midair delivers a powerful kick aimed directly at a surprised Destro, knocking him backwards. He recovers quickly, pulls out a knife he had hidden under his tux, and counterattacks, swinging the knife at her. The Baroness using her momentum to drive him back, while Destro uses his strength to hold his ground. The Baroness pulls out the sniper rifle as Destro grabs it and pulls it away from her. As the Baroness delivers another kick to Destro's chest, the blow knocks him back, sending the gun spinning across the floor. The tension snaps as the Baroness draws a small dagger, met instantly by Destro unsheathing his combat knife. She lunges and the two collide in a brutal grapple. They're locked hand to hand, faces inches apart in a lethal stalemate. Destro then kicks the Baroness across the room, sending her crashing into a doorway. As she struggles to recover, she jumps to her feet with a scream of exertion and slams the heavy door shut. We see her silhouette sprinting down a brightly lit corridor before cutting back through the theater. Now, wearing a coat over her tactile suit, she disappears into the crowd to blend in and make her escape. The Baroness all of a sudden stops and starts scanning the panicked crowd. She spots her mark, the blonde woman who was with the initial target. Moving with purpose, Baroness intercepts her, reaches into the woman's gown, pulling out the small blue card marked with a white star. It's a perfect match for the dossier on Cobra Commander's screen. The twist, the man wasn't the target, it was her all along. Terrified and in tears, the woman freezes as the Baroness presses a knife to her throat. The Baroness and the woman are lost in a sea of people, while the crowd is completely oblivious to the life and death struggle happening right next to them. As the room empties and the crowds disperse, we're left with a final, chilling image. The blonde woman abandoned and bleeding on the red carpet floor. We cut to a new scene, a desolate warehouse buried in the snow. We see Destro's phone buzzing with a photo of the target lying dead on the opera house floor. In a silent rage, his gloved hand crushes the device, shattering the screen to pieces. Destro stands before a massive window overlooking the city, his face grim. Resting on the nearby table, he sees a red origami heart, a silent message from the Baroness. We cut to a close-up of the paper. The heart reveals handwritten coordinates and a time and place. We now see the Baroness sitting at an elegant balcony cafe with the Eiffel Tower glowing against the night sky as a waiter pours 2 glasses of champagne. Destro arrives, holding the red origami paper heart in his hand before sitting across from her. Without a word, she reveals the blue card with the white star. It isn't just a dossier, it's a bill for the Hotel Plaza Anthony. As Destro takes it in, the Baroness grabs his jacket and pulls him close for a kiss. We again come back to Cobra Commander. On a wall of surveillance screens, he's watching Baroness and Destro's private moment in Paris. With a cold flick of his wrist, he updates the rankings. Baroness moves up to the number 1 spot, with Destro right behind her at number 2. As the list scrolls, we see Zartan, Master of Disguise, at number 3, Copperhead, the Swamp Specialist pilot, at number 4, and the Crimson Guard commanders, Tomax and Zimat, rounding the top 5. We realize Cobra Commander isn't just monitoring his agents, he's ranking them. he's identifying exactly which of his allies pose the biggest threat to him, as we again see him staring at the Baroness. And with that, this wraps up the issue. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more from G.I. Joe or the Energon universe. Thanks for hanging out at the Comic Book Lounge. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, or subscribe. It really helps the channel get recommended to other comic fans. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.